Hey guys, it's Tombox here. Welcome to MST.TV, and it is that time of the year again where we get to discuss the ban list. Why? Because the ban list is going to change, because Konami did say, oh, the latest ban list won't come out until after August of 2018. Well, August of 2018 is coming very soon, and well, we're nearing the end of July, so this is the appropriate time to do a ban list prediction. How are we going to predict this? Well, I'll tell you that in a bit, but first I want to give a huge shout out to my most recent Patreon, Cody. Appreciate you. If you guys want to help support this channel, and like many of the others have, check out the Patreon link down in the description below. And one more thing. I have a favor to ask you guys. If you guys could check out the link in the description to my latest video, Eat Out with Tombox. I've been trying to work on a separate segment on my other channel, MST.TV, and I've just released my test video, or my test episode, or my pilot episode, and I would love for you guys to give me some feedback, because I'm really trying to branch out and try to do some other things on MST.TV, which is a lifestyle nerd channel of how to incorporate, well, I guess Yu-Gi-Oh in your life while maintaining all your other social aspects at, you know, full capacity, something like that. But I went out and did some food porn out there. Not proud of it, but hey, it's food porn, it's sexy, it's ribs. If you guys like ribs, you should check it out. But okay, anyways, let's get into the actual video here about the ban list prediction of August 2018. As for any of my ban list prediction videos, I would love for you guys to comment down below whether you agree, disagree, maybe I'm missing something, maybe you want to add something. Well, leave it down in the comment section below and I'll read it over, and I would love to hear your reason behind it, because, you know, I like the discussion with you guys. As for the ban list prediction angle that I'm taking this time, well, we are going to the next ban list past Worlds. So usually the ban list after Worlds is going to be a mass slaughter. Just look at the September ban list of last year, where Zodiac, Yang Zings, I guess what else, multiple decks basically got axed completely. And whenever Konami axes a deck, they double tap. They hit it and then they hit other stuff around it just to make sure it doesn't come back. And whenever they hit stuff around it, it has collateral damage to other decks that are not related. Yeah, so, and usually what they do is they release new product, and that new product will eventually reform the meta. And that's the kind of overhaul that we're going to be going for in this particular ban list. So this particular ban list prediction, in terms of problem decks, we have 3 that I want to list that are old, that are decks that have existed from 2017. We have Pendulum Magicians, we also have the Trick Stars, and we also have Gokis. They're inherently old decks. I'm not gonna lie to you, they are out from 2017 in August, so they've been out for a year, and usually that 1-year timer is what kind of gets them axed. Let's start off the bat with Firewall Dragon, and let's just get this one out of the way, because oh my god, there's an anime shield on this card. Well, anime or not, I think this card deserves a ban. Why is it in the prediction though, since it's pretty easy to predict that it won't get banned? Well, to predict that it will get banned is based off of the anime shield thing. I'm predicting maybe in the future, if they want to answer these problematic cards, what the anime can do is the animes themselves can also ban off the card and upgrade the quote-unquote upgrade the card. If they upgrade it to a crappier experience, then they can ban off the original copy, or perhaps give it an errata, so that maybe they'll just hack Firewall, where Firewall can't be summoned anymore, and therefore we can put him to 0. Or maybe they'll weaken Firewall, so Firewall's effects aren't as good. Maybe make a Firewall V2, something like that, so that we can get rid of this card, because this card facilitates OTKs, FTKs, just anything that synergizes with abusive spams of special summons. You'll see Firewall at the tail end of it, and that's why it's not cool to run this guy. It hits Goki, it hurts Trickstar. Trickstar, what does it hit? The Firewall OTK loop. I guess you don't want to see that either, so that's why this card has to go. And when I say like they like to double tap, like taking away Firewall Dragon already hurts Goki Nightmare a lot. And to push you forward into playing regular Gokis, they can also take away your access to Isolde, but not directly Isolde herself, but you can take away MX Saber Invoker, one of your engines. I know it's a bit like, oh, but I like the X Sabers stuff. You don't even play X Sabers. If you play X Sabers, then yeah, unfortunately you're losing a card, but you don't even really use this card if you're playing X Sabers. Now, if you take this card away, it discourages people from playing the junk forwards, the marauding captains. It's just kind of phasing them out, so that you actually have to play actual Gokis. And like, if you look at the last 2 booster packs, they push links for Trickstar, they push Goki links, And well, I don't think they're gonna get any more support aside from those. So if they really want to stop you from playing Nightmares, they'll start hitting Nightmare cards. But Nightmares are just such a good utility, and they're also very fresh, so it's unlikely that they're getting hit. And as for the last ban card, it's Harmonizing Magician. The one card that I think personally is keeping the Pendulum deck alive. I know there's also the chance of hitting out Electromite, but hear me out. Electromite is like the link monster for pendulums. And then you also have the link monster for, I guess, tuners, which is Christian Needle Fiber. I guess he's the one for synchros. I'm assuming there's going to be one for fusions. There's probably going to be one for Xyz. It just makes sense. It just branches out. Every single monster card type is going to have one, and it's going to be one of the pillars to keep all the other, I guess, card types alive, basically. That's why I don't see people hitting out the Electromite, although it is very much deserving of a hit, and it is very versatile. But if you hit away all the guys that give you free pluses and free monsters that tether out stuff from the deck, that's why it's MX Saber Invoker, and it's also Harmonizing Magician in the ban area. And Harmonizing might be a bit of a collateral damage, but I think if you hit this one out, it's pretty devastating. They lose a bit of consistency, and they don't get as much free monsters out, so they have to commit more resources, or have to have the resource already available to perform like mass board building with pendulums. Okay, to the limited stuff, starting off with Sky Striker Hornet Drones. Now, hitting Hornet Drones, I know it hurts Sky Strikers, and Sky Strikers are very new, especially with the recent addition of Hayate and everything, but if you hit Hornet Drones, it limits the options for other decks to play the Sky Striker engine. It's very painful. If you take away Engage, it just makes it so that you can't play pure Sky Strikers anymore, and I think it's a little bit too early for that. Think about back in the day when Barrage was clearly the most OP card in the entire deck of Zodiac, but they never touched it because it was a secret rare, it was the money card. Money cards tend to have a longer lifespan, so they hit the stuff that synergizes well with it, and this is the one card. And this also limits the options for other people to splash it in as an engine, because it actually cuts them short from moving forward. So that being said, that just means that it's less likely for people to just hold on to the card and Hayate you for game, because they only have one copy of this. They can recur it probably once with the Kagari, and unless they're really good at their Kagari control, or they're playing revival cards to bring back Kagari, they're not going to see Hornet Drones very much after that. They need to get the setup, and they need revival cards now to actually play it. So that just limits them down. Although Engage is still at 3, so if you're playing a Sky Striker deck, you have Ray, and Ray recurs herself anyway. So that's the logic behind this particular card. Next up, we have Trickstar Hits. Trickstar Hits, we're actually hitting quite a few cards from there, as well as a couple of generic hits. We have Reincarnation. We were done with the Reincarnation lock loop. That thing is just so devastating. It's really punishing for early new players that just want to play the game. You do that to them, they instantly just rage quit. It's like, oh, I can't play the game. It's not very fun. It's very deteriorating to build up a new Yu-Gi-Oh player base. And if you're trying to overhaul the format so it's more welcoming when the meta is not as defined, then this card has to be limited to 1. I know it's a key component in a Trickstar deck. It is one of the best cards in a Trickstar deck, so it's going to go to 1 rather than completely get banned. If it was up to me, it's dead. Just get out of here, because the draw lock combo is very deadly. And to overkill it, you have to kill a couple of other cards. So these are the overkills. I chose Candina as my predicted hit. Why? Because Stratos is banned, so why is this card at 3? This card searches for everything. It's a +1 on the summon. It's mainly everyone's Ash target right now, and if you take that away from them, if you can actually hit them, if they have Lycoris and bounce it back, then okay, well, I guess you get a second try. But if you don't have it, you have to risk, well, judge the risk versus reward kind of situation now. Another card to hit now is Scapegoat. Scapegoat, let's just be honest here, Scapegoat's pretty busted you. How many times have you guys lost to end phase Scapegoat? That's right, more than you can count. It was like, oh, you just happen to have Scapegoat. Scapegoat goes into board load. Board load breaks my board and kills me. Yeah, well, let's put him at 1. You can't even get banned for all I care, but Scapegoat, a lot of people have already learned to play around Scapegoat, so either by forcing your opponent to activate it, or they are able to stun it and then kill it so that it never got a chance to activate. So that's another thing. Drone Lockbird is my next card to get limited As a hand trap, it is the most powerful hand trap. It is a turn skipper for any deck that is super consistent through searching and drawing. I guess Altergeist doesn't care, because Altergeist really only searches once. That's it. They search once for that multi-faker, and that's it. Like spoofing and maybe the Meluseek. Doesn't really hurt them. But like everyone else, man, it is devastating. You do it to a true Draco player, do it to a Trickstar player, you do it to, I guess, a Sky Striker player, and you can do it to a Danger player coming up. Doesn't feel very good. So limiting this promotes a new product, also takes away the chance of the draw lock combo being set up by your opponent themselves, because now you only have one reincarnation. So if they actually open both of these cards, if you get draw lock comboed now, it's on you because you didn't preemptively set your cards. Okay, then we have Isolde going down to 1. This is a bit of a collateral hit coming from the Goki, because Goki's played 2 copies, putting her down to 1. If you still successfully manage to resolve 1 copy of this, your opponent should pretty much be pooping in their pants, because free warrior, free combo extension, and the ability to pay cost with the Divine Sword. You have all of that from this one monster. And if you can keep a second copy of it, well, you got me. So this card has to go. I know Noble Knights just got support, and you know it doesn't deserve a hit. If it was up to me, this card would have been banned because of how good it was. You got a free search and you get the Divine Blade. Although it's not necessarily going to be a Divine Blade, but you also get that extra warrior summon that comes out from her effect if you play equips, and that's where the Divine Blade comes in. So you know what, a ton of cards that you're able to get just from this one card, and therefore it's going down to 1. Rather than getting banned, it's being protected by new product. Now let's look at some of the cards coming back. Max C. I took away 2 Drawn Lockbirds, but I'll give you back 1 Max C. Both Drawn Lockbird and Max C, they're basically turn-ending cards. One lets your opponent have a crappy decision of extending and therefore getting themselves killed, and the other just stops them dead in their tracks from searching in. They just have a weak board in general. So, I think that's a bit of a fair trade-off. I think throwing Max C back in there, Max C isn't exactly the healthiest card in the game, let's be honest, because Max C is super sacky when you have it, when it goes through. But now we do have Call by the Grave, and Call by the Grave have become much more mainstream in a lot of people's decks. So I can expect Call by the Grave on a Max C to be a pretty common thing to actually happen. So that's why I'm saying Max C should come back to 1, and it will change up the flavor a little. Now this one's a bit of a personal pick, but it's a personal pick with a bit of a reasoning. Now in the previous ban list, we got Atlantean Dragoons back. I'm guessing they're trying to promote the water deck. They're trying to make it, hey, if you guys want to play a rogue deck, you can play that Mermail deck that you had for a while, with Light of Sekai and everything out. Well, why don't they give us Tidal? Tidal is something that they haven't really experimented with. They haven't experimented by throwing us 1 Dragon Ruler back, so why not give us Tidal? If you want to slowly give us cards back for water, this is the one card that could tip them over, and we'll see how things go. Remember, Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't meant to be like a completely balanced game, because new products tip that balance every time. And if they want to experiment with introducing a water deck back, because out of all these hits so far, it's going to slow the game down a little bit, and because of that slowdown, this could be the one card to speed it up, and most things that come back are a bit of a speed up anyway. And then we have Trap Dust Shoot. This, I don't know why this card is still on the list. I guess you get to look at your opponent's hand. That's pretty good information. And but this is actually one of the better cards to counter against that really annoying deck of Danger. Think about it, there's not exactly too much you can do to the Danger deck. I mean, Drone Lockbird's pretty awesome, but aside from Drone Lockbird, there's no real hand traps that can actually answer them for what they are. Because on the field, they don't activate anything, so you can't use Ghost Ogre. There's nothing really to Reaper them out of. There's nothing really to Ash them, because if you Ash, you burn an Ash and they'll activate again. Yeah, so aside from that, I guess you can use Trap Dust Shoot to really turn them off. So you can actually look at your opponent's hand, know what you're going into when it comes to ditching your opponent's hand. But this time you don't have to ditch them to the grave, you can ditch it back into the deck. So it just gives us a little bit of an option. I know this card was not as good the moment we don't draw the 6th card anymore when you go first. So I think this card's okay when you come back, especially when your opponent needs 4 cards to actually for you to activate this card. And finally, the last card coming back, Stratos. I honestly think he can come back now. He doesn't actually hold that much of an impact. he should have came back last list in my opinion. And where are all them hero players at? I don't even see a hero topping a locals. So, you know what? Give us back Stratos. I think now's the perfect time. We can hit the Candido, give us the Stratos, and then we can see a little bit of a balance right here. Now, the first card I'm putting in semi-limit and just lowering it down is Terraforming. My analogy is this is just a much better version of Upstart Goblin for decks that run field spells, like Trick Stars and decks like ABCs. You take this away from them, it hurts them so much in the consistency that they're gonna be pretty upset. And they're probably be like, oh my god, why are you taking this away from me? And it's got this mob mentality behind it that, hey, you can't hit Terraforming. All these other smaller, non-meta related decks also rely on it too. And that being said, that just kind of supports my case even more. You're super reliant on this one card. That makes it so that your deck's not 40 cards, it's 37 with Terraforming. Terraforming is mainly just a filler that gets you other cards anyway. So it's like a searching upstart. So it's like Rhoda for whatever that you really need at this point. So that being said, that's why it's Terraforming semi to 2. It's just an experimental phase. Maybe they're trying to slowly phase it out so there isn't that much of an outrage. And then there is Cliffort Scout. Clifforts, they haven't done anything. Why is this card still on the list? That's why you're at 2. Experiment, because 3 could be a bit much. With triple Wavering Eyes and everything, it's quite dangerous to leave Cleese like that. But luckily, with the new Master Rule change, you can't just spam a bunch of dudes on the field. And one card that I really want to see it too is Book of Moon. Book of Moon to me is the most skillful -1 that you can play. Now I know this doesn't do anything against Lynx right now because, well, Lynx can't go to face down mode, they can't go to defense mode. But that being said, it can prevent Lynx from happening. If your opponent is about to combo off with Lynx and you go throw a wrench in their plan, you just go Book of Moon. Or you Book of Moon the monster in the extra monster zone, they can't link it off anymore. So there's a lot of skill counterplays with this particular card, and I think now's the time to do it. I know before you want to support Lynx, you want things to go smoothly, but now is probably the time where, hey, we've seen the possibilities of what Lynx can do, why don't we throw in more countermeasures to stop things from happening and just increasing the skill ceiling altogether. And finally, towers can go to 3. Yeah, that's it. When was the last time you fought a towers? Okay, if you can answer that, also tell me, how did you beat that towers? There's a lot of methods to beating towers now. Whether you play a normal summon based deck, whether or not you're playing Xyz, whether or not you're just having way bigger monsters than your opponent, or you run Utopia Lightning. It's just that there's so many ways to get rid of a towers now, and you haven't seen towers in forever. Maybe if towers will be back in main play, maybe we'll see that deck that just turbo towers. But turbo towers isn't even that bad. I hate the U board way more than I hate towers. And I guess that would be my ban list prediction. If you guys think there are cards that I'm missing or things that I probably should hit, or things that, oh, why'd you hit these cards? Leave it down in the comment section below. Give me your reasoning behind it. I'm trying to address some of the major issues, as Trick Stars, Go Keys, and Pendulums were my main targets of hit. I didn't go for True Dracos. Anything that just kind of under the radar, I didn't really bother with them. Did I not hit Altergeist? Do you guys think Altergeist needs a hit? I mean, they weren't the most successful, and they're still... Are they even that fresh? Maybe Altergeist, if you really hit Altergeist, maybe Altergeist also deserves a hit now that I think about it. But that's my prediction right now. If you guys want to like this video, hit me up with a thumbs up. If you disagree with this video, also hit the thumbs up. And don't forget to check out that other video in the link down in the description below. And I would love to hear your feedback on that. And until next time, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV. Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please drop us a like so we know we are doing a good job, and you can also subscribe to MST.TV for more fantastic videos by clicking on the button on the left. Don't forget to check out our partners at Imperium Duelist. They make really high quality mats, including some of my own limited edition release stuff. And if you want to check out one of our past videos, click here on the right. As always, don't forget to hold on to your MST.TV, and I'll see you next time.